Seth, also known as Set, is a fascinating and complex figure in ancient Egyptian mythology. Historically, he was associated with a variety of powerful and often contradictory forces and attributes. As the god of chaos, storms, and deserts, Seth played a crucial role in the Egyptian understanding of balance and disorder in the universe. Mythological role and representation. Seth was often depicted as a figure with a human body and the head of a mysterious creature, which has not been definitively identified even today. This creature, sometimes referred to as the Set animal or Shah, has a curved snout, squared ears, and a canine body with a forked tail. This unique appearance sets him apart from other deities who were typically depicted with more recognizable animal heads. Symbolism and worship. Seth's domains included not only chaos and storms, but also change and the unknown. Despite his associations with destruction, he was also seen as a protective deity. For example, Seth was honored for his role in protecting the sun god Ra during his nightly journey through the underworld, fighting off the serpent Apophis, which represented chaos and destruction. This protective aspect made him a complex deity who was both feared and revered. Cultural shifts. Seth's reputation underwent significant changes over the history of Egypt. In earlier periods, he was respected and had several cult centers dedicated to him. However, his image transformed negatively after the Hyksos, foreign rulers linked to the Levant who took over parts of Egypt during the Second Intermediate Period, adopted him as their main deity. This association led to a decline in his stature once the Hyksos were expelled. During the New Kingdom, particularly in the Ramesside period, Seth was often demonized due to his mythological role in the murder of Osiris, where he was depicted as the embodiment of evil. This act led to the legendary struggle with his nephew, Horus, a foundational myth which symbolized the eternal battle between order, Horus, and chaos, Seth. Modern perspectives. Today, scholars and enthusiasts of Egyptian mythology recognize Seth as a multidimensional figure whose characteristics encapsulate the complexity of human emotions and societal values. His dual nature reflects the ancient Egyptians' understanding of the necessity of balance between opposing forces, mirroring the duality found in nature and human society. Seth, also known as Set, is a prominent figure in ancient Egyptian mythology, known for his complex and multifaceted nature. He is often associated with chaos, storms, desert, and disorder, which contrasts sharply with the orderly and fertile qualities attributed to his brother Osiris. Origins and family. Seth is part of the Ennead of Heliopolis, a family of 9 deities descended from the creator god Adam. His parents are Geb, the god of the earth, and Nut, the goddess of the sky. Seth's siblings include Osiris, Isis, and Nephthys. In some myths, Seth is married to his sister Nephthys. Role in Egyptian mythology. Seth's most infamous myth is his rivalry with his brother Osiris. Jealous of Osiris's position as king of Egypt, Seth murders him, dismembers his body, and scatters the pieces across Egypt. Isis, Osiris's wife and sister, reassembles Osiris's body and revives him long enough to conceive their son, Horus. This sets the stage for another major mythological narrative, the conflict between Horus and Seth. The battle between Horus and Seth is a central theme in Egyptian mythology, symbolizing the eternal struggle between order, Ma'at, and chaos, Isfet. Horus eventually defeats Seth, becoming the new ruler of Egypt, which reaffirms the rightful order. Attributes and worship. Seth was depicted in several ways, most commonly as a composite creature with a curved snout, square ears, forked tail, and canine body, known as the Set animal or typhonic beast, a creature that cannot be clearly associated with any single real animal. This depiction underscores his association with the unknown and the chaotic. Despite his negative aspects, Seth was also worshipped as a protector of the sun god Ra. Every night, Ra's solar bark was attacked by the serpent Apophis, and Seth was believed to defend the solar deity during these nightly journeys. Thus, Seth's role was not entirely malevolent. He was crucial in maintaining the cosmic balance. Worship and decline. Seth's worship was prominent in certain regions, notably in the city of Ombos, Nakata, in Upper Egypt, where he was venerated as a chief deity. Over time, particularly after the Hyksos period, a dynasty believed to have Semitic origins, who aligned themselves with Seth, his popularity waned. By the New Kingdom, Seth was increasingly demonized, a trend that continued into later periods, where he was often cast as a villain in various myths. Seth's story illustrates the complexities of ancient Egyptian religious beliefs, where gods could embody both beneficial and harmful aspects, reflecting the multifaceted nature of existence itself. His narrative offers insight into how ancient Egyptians understood the world around them, where chaos and order were in a constant state of interplay. The worship of Seth, one of the more complex deities in ancient Egyptian religion, varied significantly over time and across different regions of Egypt. Seth was associated with chaos, storms, and foreigners, but also played an important role as a protector deity in certain contexts. Early worship. Seth was originally a prominent god within the Egyptian pantheon. His followers revered him for his strength and his role as a defender of the sun god, Ra. Every night, as Ra journeyed through the underworld, Seth defended the solar bark from the chaos serpent, Apophis, which threatened to engulf the world in darkness. This aspect of his character was highly valued, as it was essential to the continuation of the cycle of day and night and, by extension, the overall balance of the cosmos. Regional centers. Seth's main cult center was in the city of Ombos, modern-day Nakata, located in Upper Egypt. Here, he was worshipped as a chief deity. In Ombos, there are indications of grand celebrations and rituals dedicated to Seth, emphasizing his importance in the locale. Worship at these sites often included offerings, feasts, and possibly ritual dramas depicting key myths involving Seth, such as his battles with Horus. Hyksos influence. Seth's image underwent significant changes during the Second Intermediate Period, particularly with the rise of the Hyksos, a Semitic people who ruled northern Egypt around 1650 to 1550 BCE. The Hyksos identified Seth with their own storm god, Baal, and elevated his status. This association helped maintain Seth's prominence during their reign. Temples dedicated to Seth received attention and possibly funding from these foreign rulers, helping to solidify and spread his worship. Decline in popularity. After the Hyksos were expelled and native Egyptian rule was restored during the New Kingdom, the perception of Seth began to change dramatically. His previous associations with foreign rulers and chaos made him a less favorable deity among the Egyptians. Over time, he became increasingly demonized in popular and religious narratives, depicted as the embodiment of evil and chaos. This shift mirrored the changing political landscapes and religious sentiments of the time. Later periods. By the late New Kingdom and into the Greco-Roman period, Seth's role in Egyptian religion was largely as a villain, particularly in the Osiris myth where he murders and dismembers his own brother. His temples fell out of favor, and his images were sometimes defaced. However, small pockets of worship persisted, particularly among certain groups who continued to see him as a powerful protector. Despite the decline, the complexity of Seth's character as both a protector and a disruptor continued to be acknowledged in mythological texts and academic discussions. His dual nature illustrates the Egyptian approach to theology, which embraced contradictions, allowing deities to possess multiple, often conflicting aspects.